stop saving money? Why on earth would financial coaches tell you to stop saving money? Let's talk about that. All right, Mike, why on earth would two financial coaches say stop saving money? What in the world are we talking about?
Yeah, that's hard to even say out loud. I've spent most of my life, if not my whole life, being a natural saver. So saving money is ingrained inside of me. So to not save money, we mean we want you to have a purpose for that, right? If it's for future spending, great. But if it's for future investing, let's invest it. But also, we've got to keep in mind, when is enough enough? And we've talked about this in the past, but the book Die with Zero, we both have read that. And his premise, the author's premise in this case, was around spend everything, right? Think about opportunity costs. And having these experiences younger in life, it's better because as we age, we may not have the same experiences that we can in our 20s and 30s and 40s, right? So we want you to start, he is talking about spending money earlier in life. So there is a fine balance. So that's what it means to me is when is enough and opportunity cost of missing out on experiences.
Yeah, we're not literally saying don't save any money. That's not really the purpose. It's more of we do want you to save money for the right things. And an example of this is when I was in my 20s, I was trained to always kind of save money. That's kind of what I did, right? I was always good with numbers. So I would save money, but I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have a meaning. I wasn't intentional about how I saved and where I saved. So I had a bunch of money sitting in my checking account, had a bunch of money sitting in my savings account. But what for? What is the actual reason? Did it give me a better life? No, not really. I saved just because I was told to save. And we don't want you to just be robots and listen to what we say to say save money, but we want you to actually experience life. And the reason we save money is so that we can spend it at some point on something. But if you don't have that intentionality, you're either going to waste it, you're going to save it for nothing, and it's just going to sit there, or it's for some kind of emergency. We talk about that all the time. And yes, you do need to save money for emergencies. You do need to save money for future spending. You do need to save money for your investments, for your future, and all the things. But we want you to actually live your life. So it doesn't do you any good to have tens of thousands of dollars sitting in your checking or savings account and you getting older and older, like Mike is saying, and then you look back 10 years later and you're saying, darn, I wish I did this. I wish I went on that trip. I wish I had, because ultimately you are going to die. And whether you die with $10 million or $1 million is up to you, right? You have to go and live your life. And that's what we talk about all the time in the Ideal Life and Money Academy. We want you to spend extravagantly on the things that are important to you and cut deeply on the things that are not important to you. So save money, yes, but save for a purpose. Spend money, yes. Spend money for a purpose. That is the premise of what we're talking about today. We'll get back to the episode in just a second, but we wanted to give you a gift just for being here today. Thank you so much. We've got a 3-part video workshop absolutely free for you. This workshop is designed to help you get organized with your money so that you can give yourself a 10% raise. When you give yourself a 10% raise, you are going to have more money. And when you have more money, we will show you exactly what to do with that money so that you can get on the path to financial freedom and start living your life, your ideal life today. You're going to learn how to get out of debt. You're going to learn how to save money. You're going to learn how to free up money so that you can invest for your future. If you're unfulfilled with life, whether it be at work, in your personal life, or with your money, then this is the workshop for you. Visit sentinelcoaching.com/raise. That's sentinelcoaching.com/raise, or click the link in the description. Now, back to the episode. So, Mike, let's just have a conversation on what did you do when you were younger, and what did I do when I was younger, and what are our thoughts on are we wasting our life saving money, being too conservative in our culture?
Certainly, I was extreme. I went extreme. So think of a pendulum swinging, right? So if you can see me or if you're listening, think of a pendulum. You can be very extreme in saving everything, and you can be very extreme in spending everything. We want you to have that balance. We want you to be in the middle. We want you to save on purpose and spend on purpose. Exactly what Jason is saying. And I remember when I was 18 years old, I was saving, save everything. Then I had an event in my life that I could have died. I got in a motorcycle wreck, and it brought to life the spending part of me. And I spent more than everything. I went into debt for the next 12 months until I was able to realize I was doing unwise things. So I went from the extreme of saving to the extreme of spending, and then found that balance, right, where I can spend and save a little bit. So if you want to use numbers to that, let's say that you make $80,000 a year, right? We're not telling you to save 40, 50% of that or 40 or $50,000 of your $80,000 income. But we're also not telling you to spend 80 or $100,000, which is very common. We want you to have a balance. Save 5,000, spend 15,000, right, on the things that you enjoy. So it's all about that balance. At least that's what I have learned in the last 20 years of doing money.
Yeah. It's so funny because you say that you're a natural saver and you've kind of saved your whole life, but you went through that season of spending. What contributed to that? Was it like you're just tired of saving, or did you see all of your friends do stuff that you wanted to do? What was the impetus for spending in that season?
That season was around, I could have almost died. It's like, what am I doing saving? I could have died, which was kind of silly, really. I'm 19 years old. I really could have died, but it's that balance, right? I want you to live for tomorrow, but plan for the next 50 years, the next 80 years, whatever that is for you in your season of life. So
Hmm.
again, that balance is what it was. So for me, it was I could have died, but it really is about that balance.
So that's really interesting because when you have that face with death, right? We talk the mortality is scare. People do we look back on our lives, whether you're 19 or 99, we look back and we think about, do I have any regrets? Is there something that I wish that I did? Is there something that I want to do now that I've got cancer or I've got some kind of other disease that my life may be limited and I want to do things before I die, right? That's a natural thing that we humans do. So it's really interesting that you have that like opposite of your natural bent to spend money because, I might not live forever, so I got to enjoy myself. And this is kind of the whole premise of the ILMA when we talk about, yes, we want you to live your life. We want you to enjoy this life because we believe you have one life. This is just it. So you should enjoy it, but you shouldn't be miserable when you're going into debt and having all these payments and actually struggling and all the stress that comes with debt and things like that. So we do want you to get on that strong foundation, but then also start living your life as soon as possible so that you can enjoy this life that you have rather than saying, I'm going to do nothing for 45, 50, 60 years, and then I'm going to enjoy myself in my retirement years. Right. And this is what we talked about earlier is like, you think about, okay, so if you're in America, let's say you always want to do a 3 month European backpacking trip, right? That sounds fantastic for a lot of people. Some others you insert. If that doesn't sound good to you, insert your ideal trip. And then we think about it. If you could do that when you're 30 or you do that when you're 62, which would you rather do? Which sounds better? What experience would you have at 30 that you can't have at 62? Right? Most of the time you'd say, yeah, it's going to be a better trip at age 30 than it is going to be at 62. So let's see, how can we enjoy something like this in our younger years while not putting our older self at risk, right? We're not going to save nothing. So that's such an interesting twist on what we're talking about with saving.
And if you do enjoy that in that example of backpacking, I'm going to challenge you, do both 30 and 62 while saving, right? There's going to be some really cool things and opportunities, growth, right? We talked about it in other videos. There's three things you can invest in: yourself, your business, and other people's businesses. So the reason number one is in yourself is that's why it's important. Your education, your travel, your food experiences, all of these things add up to make you who you are as a human. And travel, I think, is an amazing way to get you out of your comfort zone and to learn something new. So I love that example.
Yeah. I think we can kind of end on the idea here of what do you really want your life to look like? And this is the theme throughout all of the stuff that we teach and that we talk about is you have to identify what you want your ideal life to look like and then figure out a way to do it, right? If you are a traveler, see how you can travel. If you're a homebody, see how you can stay at home and enjoy yourself. If you just like to spend time with your family, do that. If you like to work and start a business and do all these other things on the side, do that. If you're a foodie, go enjoy food. But what do you want your life to look like? And then create the paths to get there. And we're going to say this basically until we die is live your ideal life. Get on the path to financial freedom. Start living your ideal life. All right, Mike, is there anything else on this particular topic about stop saving money because people are too conservative and they die with a big bank balance?
No, share this with that friend that does spend way too much, and share it with a friend that saves way too much. And be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.